Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. I said intro, production, intro. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, please do that. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking, and I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So, according to Full Community, which is where, look, that's the go-to. For the raza, I'm not going to lie, man, they've taken over as far as being very informational. They're the raza TMZ. That's facts, right? If you want to know if someone stole a payday candy bar and they're brown, they're going to be boots on the ground. I guarantee the Full Community drops all the information that we need for the raza. And they dropped some very disturbing and upsetting information earlier this morning. And what they put out there was San Bernardino rapper DOEBOI909 has passed away. Now, there's no further details as to his passing. Was he murdered? Was it something tragic like an accident? Or was it just a health condition gone wrong? At the end of the day, I don't think any of that matters. What matters the most is that he's gone, and I'm sure his family and his friends are going to be in mourning. It's upsetting. It's upsetting every time you see a talented individual die and people pass. You know, I like to keep how I feel usually about it to myself because it's upsetting. I'm one of those people, man. I don't like to see anyone I wouldn't wish death upon my worst enemy. Now, this guy DOEBOI909 kind of stands out to me a little bit for two reasons. One reason was he was a very close friend at one point in time with Swifty Blizzu. Swifty Blue, who is the most controversial rapper in the raza community out there, right? And a lot of stories and a lot of people talk about Swifty Blue, and there's a lot of stories that be told about him as far as his standings within the community, the music community, as well as the street gang community. To see one of his closer friends pass away, I'm sure is unfortunate, and I don't know the way he's going to take it. They're Glock stars, right? I remember seeing DOEBOI909 a few times in Swifty Blue videos, hanging around with Swifty Blue, and just thinking to myself, man, this guy's pretty talented. He looked like he was in position to have his shit together. He seemed like out of that little circle of people that Swifty Blue was hanging around with, that he was the one that was making the power moves wearing shower shoes. He was the one that was making the moves behind the scenes as far as musically, and he was talented. He had good music. Now, his passing, of course, is going to be hard on the community of San Bernardino, but I wanted to point out that in the last few weeks, this guy's name had popped up several times on social media. One time, I believe I seen him. He was checking what I believe was to be his daughter's boyfriend or somebody's boyfriend. And according to what I seen, he was kind of going hard in the paint on this guy. It was all about respect. So he had morals. He had integrity. He was educated enough to understand that you treat people's families, you treat women with respect. Right now, at the same time, there's another controversial video going around where just recently people said that he was deboed, punked, right? Disrespected. I don't know if that was him on that video, and I don't know if that was true, but that was kind of the word on the curb circulating out there, was that DOEBOI909 was ran upon and disrespected for whatever reasons. Now, I could understand out there in the Inland Empire, especially a place like San Bernardino, right? San Bernardino, being from there, you know, they got a lot going on. Street gang activity, the community, drugs, everything that surrounds San Bernardino. You know, San Bernardino has been making the top 10 murder capital of California list for a long time now. It's a pretty dangerous place to live. It's a pretty dangerous place to raise your family if you're associated and affiliated with street gangs and criminality, you know, criminal ways. It's upsetting. But you know what's even more upsetting than all that? The fact that this man is taken away from his family. This man's soul is gone. Okay, he will no longer be able to provide for his familia, to be on social media, to hang around with Swifty Blue. I can only wonder right now what Swifty Blue is thinking and how he feels about losing a close friend like this. And if you didn't know, man, they were all associated and part of I don't know if it was a record label or a gang that was called Glock Stars. And when you lose someone that close to you or someone that you're associated and affiliated with, it impacts you some type of way. It changes your mindset. Case in point, I wanted to speak on something that I haven't spoke on I've never spoke on it, but it's been weighing pretty heavy on my heart and my mind lately, right? When I came into social media myself, I started by myself, right? I didn't ask anyone for a pass. I didn't call anyone and say, hey, is the water fine in there? I kind of just jumped in feet first into this ocean of social media, this YouTube. And I was blessed. I was truly blessed with being given a platform that kind of propelled who I am, my brand, right? But even more so than that, it started to shape me as a new person. Someone I was in the past. It gave me the opportunity in the air to leave those old ideas in the past and to create a person that was better than the last version of myself, right? So I continue to do that, and I still do that every day. And some people like it and some people hate it. And there's no in between. There's no flim flam, on the fence people. You either like me or you don't, and I respect it either way. I'm not for everyone. Shit, I wouldn't want to hang around with me. I'm an asshole sometimes. But at the same time, I'm a good person at heart. And what's been going on lately, man, with my associations and social media has weighed heavy on my heart. There's been a lot of people since I came into YouTube that I've associated with, that I've called my friends, that have even been my adversaries that are now passed away. So when I see another death of someone who I knew of, someone who I know was making their rounds on social media and doing their thing, when I see them pass, it's just another name on that lista. And, I kind of wanted to right now pay a little respects to those guys and shed light on their names because, easy come, easy go, Charlie. When a person lives on this earth and has family and has friends, man, it's kind of we got to make it a point to pay tribute or at least give them respect, put some respect on their name for what they brought, the enlightenment that they brought to people. And also even more so than that, the fun times, the good times, because it's not always all bad. Even if you don't get along with the person, once they are gone, once they have passed, that slate is clean. It might not be clean on their side when they pass, but it's definitely clean on mine. Anyone who's ever talked bad about me, once they pass away, I'm no longer upset with them or mad. They paid the ultimate price to the one who counts for their transgressions or whatever it may be. It was their time. And it'll be all our time, just like it was Doughboy's time. Okay, whether he was taken tragically or something, it was an accident, it still was his time, unfortunately. So I wanted to pay a little homage, man, to these guys that have been weighing heavy on my heart. I've been thinking a lot lately, and I had this conversation with Dubs and other people, and I'm like, you know what? Damn, they really think about it. A lot of people that I used to be doing lives with, associate with, or just, in the industry, in the genre, have passed away. People like Iron Bear, who was someone that I met through social media that, I actually talked to behind the scenes on the phone several times and just was a cool person, was a big advocate for the Norteño cause, man, and what he believed in. And also for his native brothers, man, showed a lot of love and respect for his native people. And unless you talk to that man behind the scenes, you wouldn't have known he passed. Then you had Sundown, who was of legendary status at some point in time, man, within the gang organization in prison, and was a cool old man. Liked to lie a little bit or a lot of it, but was a cool old man that showed me nothing but respect. So I have to show him and pay him the same homage and respect. He tragically passed away. And I remember when that happened, I was unaware until someone called me and told me, and I couldn't believe it. Like, wow, that came out of nowhere. But I could understand a man with his health declining. Then there was a guy named Smitty, who was an old white fucker, brothers, right? But I had a lot of love for, I got to really know that man behind the scenes and hear his life story, which I never put out there, which I will never put out there because that was his own personal story that he told to me and didn't want anyone to know about. but was a solid individual with a lot of background that would shock people if they really knew where he was from and who he was, right? And just was a funny character, man, whose only wish in life at the end, because he had stage 4 cancer, right? And his only wish in life was to laugh and have a good time and to come onto the lives and to associate and to be a part of something and just to make friends. And we were able to comfort him before his passing and be cool like that. It was a great thing, right? Then you had people like Josh, Homie Hangout, which I took hard. I took hard because at one point in time, we were adversaries. We were people that didn't see eye to eye, people that were disgusted with each other's content, that could not get along. And as men, and as you grow in becoming a man every day, we were able to converse and put that to the side and become what I consider friends. You know, that was one of the most intelligent people I've ever had the privilege of speaking with. And when he passed, that one hurt for me. You know, that one changed the whole rhythm of what I'm doing, because every day that I wake up, I think about things that he used to tell me, sayings that he used to say, and a whole bunch of just nuggets of and diamonds he used to drop game, right? And he's sorely missed on social media. And he's one of the people that, you know, I had association with, good and bad. And I could say a lot more good than bad. And that's facts. And I know a lot of the haters like to say, he didn't even like you, whether he did or he didn't. We used to talk on the phone at least once a week, man. And they were very lengthy and positive conversations. And I helped him as much as he helped me. That I'm sure of, right? Another guy that passed that was shocking to everybody was Savage Studios. And I hate to even say his name because it strikes controversy in the hearts and fear in the hearts of those that don't know how to rock, right? When that man passed, it wasn't something I didn't see coming. I think everybody's seen that one coming. And unfortunately, man, it happened out of the blue and quicker than we thought it would. You know, I can't sit here and say that was a friend of mine. Not at all, right? I can't sit here and say that me and him were on good terms or speaking terms consistently. No, we had conversations a few times to which I expressed, man, that I needed distance from him just based on the controversy that was surrounding him and what he had said in the past. And for those that know. For those that remember him, remember. Very outspoken, very animated, you know, a character that created this persona and became what he became and ultimately was murdered, man, unfortunately, right? Then you got people like Big Lou, who not a lot of people know about, right? But was probably another one of the most intelligent people I know when it came to the Norteño history and the history of that whole group. That guy was educated to the fucking utmost and well-respected and well-versed out of Tracy, California. He was another guy that associated with me that I would take his sayings and his education to the bank, man, to the grave with me, right? Solid dude. Who else, man? You had several people pass. Little Toro, right? Who I went to his home and there was a lightweight association there until I found out some very unsavory things and I backed up. But at the same time, man, you know, the disrespect and the beef between us was simply on social media. And unfortunately, man, he lost his life recently. And I wasn't able to talk to him one more time to tell him to get his shit together, right? Because it was like the way we used to talk to each other. Man, what are you doing? Get your shit together. You're out there acting like a J-Cat, right? And he felt the same way about me. But at the end of the day, he's gone and I'm not, man. And it's sad to see people like that go. And then someone, man, that no one would even think about, like Tim Hennessy, who was a good, solid wood, brother, you know, from the Inland Empire, who used to jump on my late nights, no matter what, late night lives, no matter how long he worked all day and no matter what he did with his family, he would find time to jump on and have a beer and just have a good time. These are the people that I think about, right? These are the people that have passed that I'm kind of like, wow, right? And, you know, it gets you to thinking how short life is. You know, doing a quick roundabout with Doughboy, you know, his family's never going to be able to express how they feel about him. His homeboys in his neighborhood. Now, I have been hearing some drama about people that he was beefing with that were feeling some type of way. So again, man, as soon as other outlets bring out why he passed, how he passed, what it surrounds, I'll be bringing you that news. But until then, I just want to say condolences to the family. A rest in peace to DOEBOI909, who definitely had an impact in his area in San Bernardino on music. Definitely had an impact on Swifty Blue's life. Swifty Blue definitely lost, someone who was in support of him, a homeboy, a friend. And it's like, can't that guy win? Sometimes I feel bad for Swifty. I feel bad. I feel like he's a perfect example of someone that's going to learn from what they say and how they act, and acting too nonchalant and too boisterous and too loud and saying crazy shit on the internet, how it definitely impacts and affects your life, how it could put you in bad standings, how it could put you surrounded by a whole bunch of people that all they want to do is talk shit about you. It's unfortunate that he has to be the one to live through that and go through that, because no one understands how that feels until you understand how that feels, right? And then to lose a close friend, to lose someone that you're in association with, that's an ally, not an adversary, but an ally, it sucks. It's like everybody that you have in your life, you're losing. Okay, there's one more individual, man, that passed away recently that I have not spoke his name. I have not said anything, and people couldn't wait for me to say something about him. They thought I was going to win. Gunner's going to make video after video on him to win off his content. He better not, or else what, right? I could talk about whatever I want to talk about or not talk about whatever. I can't win for losing, right? If I talk about something, people get mad at me. If I don't talk about it, they get mad at me. It's unfortunate. That's the games that people play, but I'm not playing games. Rest in peace to EBK family, right? When he passed, I'm not going to lie, I kind of took a step back and I had mixed emotions. I was like, wow, it wasn't like we didn't see this one coming, but it's unfortunate to hear it. And, I don't think about all the shit that was talked. I don't think about all the videos that were made. I don't think about all that. I think about when we used to laugh and he used to be sitting at, and he used to jump on my live with his hat on, cutting that weed, trimming that weed. And he used to be smoked out and coughing. And that's the times I remember. All the bad shit, all the negative, I choose not to remember because it don't mean nothing. Nothing came out of it. When there ain't no way I'm going to kick a man when he's gone or he's down and disrespect him when he has a family that still has at least his videos as a legacy. So yeah, he was another one that passed, and quietly I kind of shrunk back, didn't speak on it. People were begging me to speak on it, and then there were those that were begging me not to speak on it, and if I did, or else, right? Well, fuck you and them. Look, here's what I'm gonna say about that. I talked to him on the phone. I was one of the original people that he contacted on YouTube years and years and years ago, and we had conversations, and I lightweight want to believe that I influenced him to make a YouTube channel, right? So if you guys remember, I was one of the first people to bring him around. And we had a falling out if I had one question to ask him in life, it would be why, because I don't even know why, right? But it is what it is. But it's just these people, all these people that were lost, I was in association with, or that, I knew of. It makes me wonder. And so Doughboy passing, man, it's kind of going to be a hard one for his area. It's going to be a hard one for Swifty Blue, I'm sure. And it's going to be a hard one for the community, the Raza community as a whole, because we lost another talented individual, someone who never got to reach the limits I'm sure he wanted to reach. It's a great thing, though. I'm glad that he got to see at least Lefty Gunplay get a Grammy before that vato passed, to show everybody that it's possible. There's a lot of people hating on Lefty right now. Oh, he didn't deserve it. He doesn't. The 4 words that said, look it. You know what he showed us? Out of everything, Lefty showed us 2 things. One, that he's sober and he's getting his life together, and he was well-spoken, well thought out, everything he said. And that if you are you willing to change, you can. Everyone could have a second chance to change. And another thing he showed us is it's possible. For the brown people, man, it seems almost impossible, because we hate on each other, we tear each other down, we disrespect each other, we woof on each other. We are our biggest fucking threats. We are our biggest haters, right? And he showed possibility. And that in itself, fuck the fact that he said 4 words, fuck the fact that, I'm saying a lot of different things. He showed possibility, how possible it is to make something out of nothing, how possible it is that if you have black and brown united, man, you're a big force to be reckoned with. Possibility. It's always a possibility. There's a possibility out there right now, man, that Doughboy is shining down right now, looking down and saying everything and anything is possible. My condolences to the family again. DOEBOI909 from San Bernardino has passed away, and we'll be bringing you more details as we figure it out. It's another bad passing, man. So I wanted to get all that off my chest. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate you. And remember this, if I ever said anything in my life that really meant something, possibilities. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. This video is sponsored by Vadio Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Central Valley, Turlock, make sure you pull up to the Vadio, go support, as well as Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Arizona. Why don't you Google the Homeboy, look him up in them yellow pages, right? So he can come to your house, man, and hook that shit up. Just don't leave your old lady alone. Because that's gay. The Homeboys, they say he's good with the weed eater, and they call him the bushwhacker. Bang, bang.